welcome to the Scholar Progenium, or should I say, welcome to the jungle, because today we have a new setup for you in terms of terrain. We've been working very hard, painting up palm trees, and now it's going to be the Brits versus the Japanese, fighting in the deepest, darkest forests of Burma. First up, we have the British list. Now, this has actually been low-key a bit of a dream of mine for quite a long time, building up a Burmese jungle fighter force and building jungle terrain to fight with them on against the Japanese. So, you know, I've had this idea for a battle report and for a battle in my mind for a very long time, and finally everything's come together and we get to do it. So I'll take you through the list in a bit more detail. Leading the force, I have an inexperienced second lieutenant, and I also, of course, have my forward artillery observer that I get for free. Moving on, as it's the Burmese theatre selector, I have 6 squads of infantry. First up, 2 squads of 7 veterans with an SMG on the NCO, everyone rifles. Then we've got 2 squads of 7 Gurkhas, and these guys are just 7 men with rifles. And then finally 2 more squads, this time Chindits. And the Chindits have an LMG in there, and they also have an SMG on the NCO. Now, this is an interesting and flavourful combo here, because the Gurkhas, of course, have scary blighters, so they're really good in close combat. The Chindits have fire and manoeuvre, and that includes on the LMGs, so they can move and shoot without penalty. And obviously the veterans backing them up are just nice, solid backup units. Even though they're just my simple riflemen, they'll be harder to shift than cheap regulars. In support of all this infantry horde, we have a simple regular Piat team in a Bren carrier with the extra LMG. We have another Bren carrier for maybe the officer, maybe the forward artillery observer, whoever needs the taxi ride, and that's got an LMG on it as well, bonus LMG. And then we have the Stuart Mark II with a hull-mounted MMG, a coaxial MMG, 2 hull-mounted LMGs, and then if I need it, the light anti-tank gun on the turret. So all in all, it's 12 dice at 1,000 points, and I'm very excited to fight against the Japs. Next up, we've got the Japanese force. Now, I've laid them out on the board for a little bit of fun. If you prefer this style, let us know in the comment section down below. We can always look to upgrade the quality of our battle reports. Now, let's take a look at the Japanese in a bit more detail. Leading the force, we have a second lieutenant, regular on his own, wielding a sword and pistol, so we'll count that as an SMG. Next up, we have the infantry. Now, this is essentially a starter box for the Japanese forces, plus a squad of veteran paratroopers and a Type 92 light anti-tank gun?
Infantry gun.
Light howitzer. So, it's a pretty basic force, but it's quite meaty, and, you know, we're just looking for a fun thematic jungle fight today, so it should be perfect for that. So yeah, in terms of the infantry, we have 10 veteran paratroopers. These guys are fanatics. They've got 3 SMGs and an LMG in there. Next, we have 2 squads of 10 veteran infantry, both with an LMG and an SMG on the NCO. Backing up the 3 squads of 10 veterans, we have 2 squads of 12 regular infantry, and these guys also are wielding an LMG and an SMG on the NCO. In terms of support units, we have, as mentioned, the Type 92 infantry gun, which is a light howitzer. We have 2 improvised anti-tank operatives, and finally we have, taking us up to 10 dice and 1,000 points on the nose, the Chi Ha Type 97 at light tank. This has a light howitzer and a hull-mounted machine gun. So, interesting force, some really meaty infantry, and with the jungle rules that we're playing, it should be quite the opponent for the Brits. You join us at the field of battle before the action commences. Now we're fighting over a road in the jungle. The Brits are deep behind enemy lines, trying to cut off logistics and supply lines by taking control and maybe sabotaging this bridge. The Japanese have located the Brits' movement, perhaps using spotter planes in the jungle, and they've sent a force to attack the Brits and wipe them out whilst they're, far away from any help on their own. Now, as you can see, we've got a dense jungle here for you, and it's very straightforward how this works. As you'll see, there's lots of trees and a few little clearings and open hills scattered between. Now, the jungle counts as night fighting rules, so as soon as you're shooting through any of the jungle sections, which is basically all these trees apart from the little bits of mossy open ground here and there, as soon as you're shooting through that, it's night fighting rules. So you can see the unit, but can you actually see them? Once you declare them as a target, before any reactions, you roll 2d6 and then you plus or minus a few things. We won't bore you with the maths. We'll just let you know if we can shoot each other or not. I guess that makes sense. We'll do the hard work. You just sit back, relax and enjoy the action. The rocky outcrops do count as open, not jungle, but they are difficult ground and soft cover. The jungle itself is difficult ground, but the patches of clearings, they are actually open ground. The river itself is difficult ground to pass through. Wheeled vehicles can't get through it, and also it's no cover. So if you're wading through that river, you can just get shot to pieces. And then of course we've just got a couple of roads smattered around, an old abandoned missionaries sort of chapel perhaps, long overgrown on the side of the river by the bridge. So with all that being said, we've got the dice in the bag, we've got the armies ready. Let's get stuck in. To turn one, and we've had a couple of dice back and forth. The Japanese forces have positioned a light howitzer on this rocky outcrop. Now, interestingly, this has a really nice channel of fire from this non-jungle rocky outcrop across this clearing. This non-jungle rocky outcrop, because the jungle's thinner on the ridges and so on and so forth, straight onto this little bit of clearing and then the road. So we can see right into my back lines from that position. Lovely positioning there. Likewise, he's also just advanced on with a squad through the jungle itself. As you can see, he's got a couple of forward positioned anti-tank operatives. Now, the Brits have had 3 dice themselves. I've used this bit of clearing here to just run on 2 Gurkha squads, 12 inches on the right flank. And I've used the road here to advance up, and I'm shooting through this bit of clearing, through the open hill, and then the jungle starts here, but I need an 8 basically on 2d6 to be able to hit him. Carrier make out the Japanese infantry. No. Here's movement, the cracking of sticks, but can't make anything out. The squad of Japanese infantry, veterans this time, advance up to the edge of a clearing. Carrier advances up to the edge of the road. He's shooting across this clearing, past the open hill and to the edge of the jungle here. So he's only going to need a couple of inches on 2d6. Carrier's crew make out the veterans. Yes, they can. It's going to be 8 down 6s. He's got the hit there. Nice little pin, won't really help that much this time, and no kills. The next dice is also British. This time a Stuart advances up the road, and again he's going to shoot across the clearing and into these Japanese infantry. Dice on 6s. Oh, we've got 3 there, I believe. 5s. We've got a kill. Can we get the LMG? No. Advances up to the edge of a clearing. He's going to shoot across with his light howitzer into the Stuart. He's going to try and pin up the Bren carrier next to him with the whole mounted machine gun. Guess that pin. And then a 6 with the light howitzer. Oh, almost. Chindit squad advances up to the edge of the bridge here. Now, they've got a shot across a bit of clearing and open ground towards the anti-tank operative over here. Now, so 6 followed by 6, but we got it. I wasn't even going to bother filming it. Now we've got to see if we can wound him. Oh, yes! Final dice for the Brits, and it's a Chindit squad advancing up the riverbank. Now, you can see a cheeky anti-tank operative wading through the river there. He's going to try and spray from the hip, see if he can get some 6s followed by 6s. No, this time you're lucky. Japanese dice and a squad of veteran infantry advance up the riverbank, also wielding an LMG. They're going to spray across precisely 36 inches into the Chindits on the other side of the bridge. 6s followed by 6s, 4 shots. Oh, there's 2 chances there. Just stray shots in the draw. He gets one. Nice. Needing a 5 to kill here. Yes.
Oh, he gets one as well.
Nice. As we've seen, both forces advancing through the jungle. A few shots firing out at shadows and noises in the distance. And a couple of casualties on each side from stray and a couple of pins here and there as well. We can see the Japanese have advanced a long line of infantry up, covering the entire length of the battlefield. Just a wave of ferocious Japanese veteran fighters facing off against them. The Brits have their armoured fist of 2 Bren carriers and a Stuart holding the road there, shooting across a clearing. We've got a couple of squad of Gurkhas going to move up under their fire support. And then we've got Chindits in the centre. And a couple of veteran infantry rifle squads. Just a reliable force to hold the left flank. All that being said, we've got the dice in the bag. And now it's time to roll to see if the artillery comes in. The spotters called it in on the edge of this clearing here, sensing a wave of Japanese forces coming up towards the British lines. And it is a 6, it's going to come in. Let's see the distance from the smoke here. And it's going to be 9 inches in total. High explosive shells raining down from far off artillery batteries. It's going to be 2 squads and the tank that are at risk of being struck. So this squad first, and that's going to be D3 pins, and it's 2. Then we've got the Chi Ha. And he's hit! Yes, high explosive 4 inches. He's a light tank, I believe, armour 8. So it'd be a 4, but on the top it's a 3 to glance. Come on. Yes, he's got the pen there. Oh my gosh. That's flipping heck. My heart's pounding, man. All of a sudden, a shot of adrenaline. And yes, we've knocked out the GR. Just an explosion. Rips up a mushroom cloud, erupts above the canopy of the jungle. And the Brits know something valuable's gone off there. And then finally, this veteran squad. Oh, like that. And then these guys, just D3 pins. I have to roll that dice again. And it's going to be 2 pins. Okay. That is something else. Dice turn 2 is British. A Bren carrier passes his advance order. He's going to just move up and then shoot across to the edge of this clearing here. He's going to need to roll a 5 on the night fighting dice. Get a bead on those veterans. Yes, we can with an 8. 8 shots and 6s. Oh, we've got 1. Thank you, Bo. This Danish dice not letting me down. And then it is a kill. I need a 6s to hit, did I? 6s, yeah. With their fine view across the valleys below, the light artillery type 92, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Is going to shoot across and into the Chindits here. It's going to be over half range, hard cover. 6. Oh, close. Chindit squad advances up onto the bridge. They're lining the edge of it and they're going to shoot across at this squad in the jungle. Now that is a good 8 inches of jungle between them and the riverbank in the angle that we're shooting at. So we'll have to see if we can get some accurate shots. And on an 11, they're going to get some fire into that on the regular infantry. We've got a hit on over half range, move, soft cover. Oh, we don't care about moving.
No, just over half.
Range, soft cover. Oh, Chindits. And we've got a kill. Can we get their LMG? No, we can't. Japanese regular infantry advance up to the edge of the rocky valley and they're going to shoot across. They can just see the sergeant of my veteran infantry over by the ruined chapel. 6 is
Nope.
No. Next, Chindit squad clambers up onto the arch of the bridge. And they're going to shoot down the riverbank at the encroaching Japanese veterans. 5s. We've got a hit there. 5s again. Yes! We're just over the halfway point in turn 2 now. As you can see, the British Gurkhas have advanced forward into the jungle. And now the Stuart's going to shoot through this clearing just into the veteran Japanese infantry on the edge of an artillery strike. Now a Stuart spraying at them. They've been forced to go down. 6s. 3 chances there. Can we get it? No. Despite advancing under a hail of fire from the Chindits on the bridge, the veteran Japanese infantry passed their order check and they're shooting across the river towards this veteran Tommy squad that are in the open. They've hopped over to the other side of the bridge into the clearing. 5s. Got the hit. No kill. End of turn 2. The Brits have continued to push their lines forward, almost forming a crescent with the vehicles and the veteran infantry pushing forward slightly towards the centre line, with the Chindits firing down the river from the hard cover of the bridge, some of the scant hard cover across the board. As we can see, other units have just pushed up here with the Chindits and the Brens, and tank just forming a big meaty fist towards the Japanese forces. As we've seen, the Japanese forces have advanced and run, getting up to the centre line with one of their regular squads just banzaiing, and although they've not managed to put many hits or casualties across at the British forces as of yet, in contrast to the Brits getting some very lucky hits. A 6 followed by a 6 on one of their one-man units and then killing him off because he was inexperienced, and then a lucky 6 on the artillery barrage, as we saw, taking out the Chi Ha. So we're definitely front foot forward. Japanese have to respond here, but now we're closing in. We're getting into sort of the range where some desperate hand-to-hand fighting is going to be happening and some close range firefights through the jungle as well. So a lot more hits to come, I think, in turn 3 and 4. Dice of turn 3, and a squad of British veterans advance up the rocky outcrop. They're going to shoot down on the infantry that have got up to the halfway mark. 5s. It's a good burst. Using 4s now. We've killed one. Squad of Tommies are going to stand and shoot. However, they're shooting through that dense jungle there. They can hear the infantry approaching. They can't necessarily make them out. Oh, yes, we've done it on a 6 and a 2. 6 rifles on 4s. We can, 3 hits. 2 SMGs on 5s, nothing. Then your regular. We've got 2 kills there. Can we get a specialist? No. Seeing the Brits advance up the opposite ridge of the valley, the light horse is going to pop a shot at the infantry. Oh, he gets it. 4 guys on 3s here. He's killed a couple of them.
And D3 pins.
Just the one. Stuart advances down the hill. He's going to spray into these veteran infantry. They're just dug in on the side of the jungle. He's over 3 inches away. Now before JP reacts, I have to see if I can see that double one, and he's just going to shoot over their heads. Oh, we got 1-1. Right,
He will go down.
they're going down. 18 dice on 6s followed by 6s now. 2 chances. Can the Stuart get me one? Yes, double 6.
Oh my god.
Okay, 5s to kill. We get a kill. Brits get another dice and run the Gurkhas up alongside the Stuart. Now the Japanese are advancing a veteran infantry squad up to the edge of this clearing here. They're going to shoot across at the Gurkhas, but they are going to need to see if they can see through that little bit of jungle. Double 1 here, JP. He's right on the line, but it is 3 inches. Got some 5s from the LMG. One hit. And then 6s for the rifles.
2 hits.
That's a kill. Japanese regular infantry banzai around the side of that rocky outcrop through the jungle. Second lieutenant orders his Bren carrier to break out into the clearing so he can spray down these veterans that are encroaching on the flank of the Gurkhas. Here. Oh, it's a solid burst, that. Needing 5 now. You've got 2 kills. You can get your LMG. No. Second squad of Japanese regulars advance up, giving fire support. They're going to shoot their rifles up to the veterans on the ridge. Got some 5s here. Solid enough.
Yeah, looking good.
Taking out the misses like a gentleman. 6 hits.
5s. 2 kills.
2 more. Is there 4 left in that squad? Yeah, that's going to be a leadership test on 2 pins. Now they are veterans, and we're okay. Second Bren carrier with the Piat team advances up to push on these veterans. Hit this time. He's done well there. 3 hits. 5s to kill. And we've got 1. Advance up out of the jungle and on top of the hill. They're going to shoot with their rifles down into those veterans again. We've got 1. 3 on 6s. We've got another 2. I know, it's really nice. Okay, 5s. Double, triple kill, man. With 2 6s as well. No specialists. These veterans push away from the riverbank where they continue to take fire from the Chindits and push towards the Gurkhas on the hill so they can suppress them. 5s. Nice. And then 3 on 6s. No. 5s to kill. He's got 1.
Sergeant.
End of turn 3, and as predicted, it's devolved into a vicious, close-range firefight through the jungle. We're having to get in each other's faces so that we can actually get our sights on each other, and that means a lot of shooting and a lot of casualties this turn. No units actually wiped out, I believe.
No.
Not as far as I can remember, but everyone taking some heavy losses. This British veteran squad shot down to just 2 men and on 2 pins. The other veteran squad eyeing down 2 massive squads of regulars. Remember, they are fanatic and can banzai. So getting pretty danger close, I say that. Charlie is in the wire. We continue to hold the bridge with 1 squad of Chindits. They're just even though they have that advance and shoot, they're in a good firing position there at this turn. However, I did push down with the other squad. We tried to shoot into the jungle. We just couldn't make out the enemy. They're out there somewhere. And then, as we saw over here, the Brits just using that armoured fist to punch forward and hose down the Japanese veterans. He went down with this squad to survive the push by the Stuart. However, when he swung this squad down to support them, they then quickly drew a lot of attention. Having moved and fired, it meant it was plus 12 on the jungle fighting or night fighting roll. to see them. So yeah, we just pushed into this clearing, shot down with the Gurkhas, got 3 pins on there, got them down to just 3 veterans remaining with some lucky 6s there. So all in all, the Brits have sort of swung their lines into a diagonal here, facing off against the Japanese. The Japanese have taken some punishment, but they're giving it back as well. The Brits are taking casualties across their squads for the main part. So we'll get dice in the bag and we'll get on with turn 4. The remaining Japanese veterans, despite their casualties, heroically banzai into the officer's Brencan. At the same time, I've got 1 dice needing a 5. He's got 3 needing 3s. I get a kill, but you finish me off. They've killed the officer, however, a 1-inch consolidate is not enough to slink back into the shadows of the Burmese jungle. The Japanese get another dice. Is this the initiative swing they needed? They're going to advance up with the big squad of regulars onto the hill and spray down. It's a whole mix of firing from SMGs, rifles, LMGs. First of all, it's going to be
4 and 5s.
4 shots on 5s. Nothing yet.
And the main batch on 4s.
8 dice on 4s. He's got 3 hits there.
It's not looking good.
Not what he wanted. 2 on 3s though. The SMG save it. He gets an extra hit. Needing 5s now. He does get a kill. Can he get the officer? Not quite. The dice for the Japanese forces. This time shooting up at the Chindits, trying to pin them up and save the remaining 2 veterans. 4s, 1 on a 5.
4s.
It's a good burst. It's a mix. Should save those for the Marines. No. Some high numbers there.
5s.
Can he translate it into casualties? No. Yes, he can. 2. Can he get the NCO? No, he can't. But that's 2 pins and 2 casualties. To charge down the hill into those veterans just stood in the open clearing there, needing an 8. Yeah, on a 5 we're okay. Fighting first here, and it's going to be 4 tough fighter attacks. We've got 1 kill. That means even though Scary Blighter's halves his attacks, because he's only got 1 guy still gets that strike back, and it'll be his tough fighter. Okay, oh, do we get that tough fighter kill? No, we don't. Right, so you don't get Fanatic. We go into the next round, but you don't get Fanatic, because you're on your last man. Okay. Not that it matters if I kill you. Right, okay. 4 strikes. We're at the same time now. You're purple. I've got a kill, and you've got another kill there.
Tough fight, do we get another one? No.
So he sold his life dear. Point blank right up to these infantry that is pinned down all game. They're going down once again, so it's going to be 5s to hit. 5s on 18 shots here. 1, 2, 3, 4. One's cocked. 5, 6. 5s again. And we've killed 2. Do we kill the NCO? No. Regulars decide to stand and shoot at point blank range into the veterans. Shots on 3s. I'm refusing to go down here. It's a very good burst. No, that's not ideal. 1, 2 kills, 3.
1, 2, 3 kills potentially. No.
On 2 pins here. Oh, I make it just. With the Japanese making a dangerous push on the left flank, the Chindits decide to wade into waist-deep waters and spray up into the regulars on the ridge. 2 hits, 3 on 5s, 2 hits, needing 4s now. It's a quad kill. The NCO, no. 2-man veteran Tommy squad pulls back down the ridge and sprays up with that SMG and rifle at the encroaching regular infantry. Well, I didn't quite make it out of charge range, but I'm at least in point blank range. It's 2 shots on 3s. We get the hits. 1 on a 5. We get that 2. 3 hits, needing 4s. It's another kill. And with those Tommy veterans safely out of the way, the Chindits can unleash a hail of supporting fire from the bridge across into the rocky ridge line. 4s. Oh, it's a hell of a burst. kill now. There's 3 so far. And 3 regulars dead. With the Piat team pushes up into the jungle. He's going to shoot across just over point blank range into the officer. I realise because he's a small target, I need to roll an 11 here to see if I can actually see him on 2d6. Oh, almost, but no. Japanese light howitzer crew are going to pop a shot down onto the chindits in the river. Roll not a double 1 to see if you can see them through the jungle. Absolutely. Can make them out easy.
The vantage point being so high.
Yeah, easy.
Could have done with one of those 6s now though.
You just look straight down the river valley.
Need a 5.
A 5, yeah. He gets the hit on the chin, that's just what he needs.
Is doing work.
It's going to be 4 guys on their 3s. Kills a couple of them.
2.
Nice work.
Specialist.
Not quite.
Pins.
And the last dice of turn 4. And the improvised anti-tank operative actually advances through the jungle. Danger close to these 2 Bren carriers here. He also got the second to last dice and put his officer on ambush. So I didn't hop my Piat out and try anything risky. I decided to just go down with the Piat team, not risk it, just stay manning that LMG and the Bren carrier. He then successfully popped that ambush and got a pin on the Piat team and the Bren carrier as well. Now, on the bigger picture, at the end of the turn, these Japanese veterans have been just forced down and slowly picked away all game, but they have tied up a Steward and a squad of Gurkhas. Those Gurkhas are now within charge range. Over here in the centre of the British lines, we've got a 3-man squad of Gurkhas that have been beaten up, they've been shot at a fair bit. They've had a successful close combat fight, and now they're sort of ready to continue. Maybe hop in that empty Bren carrier where the officer was. He sadly was killed earlier on. As we can see, he's still got a pretty fresh squad of veterans over here, unpinned, relatively unharassed, and as we saw, he's got a chance of killing one of these Bren carriers now if he gets the first dice. Then over on this flank here, the Japanese infantry have done really well to hammer up the veteran Tommies as they've approached. Instead of charging them, just spraying with close range rifle, LMG and SMG fire. And with the size of the squads, they get a lot of hits and a lot of damage, even on veteran units, more than you would normally expect from regular squads. However, being only regulars, I obviously can advance and fire with those chindits without penalty. And so we sprayed up and did a serious amount of casualty in return, reducing a 12-man squad down to 4 in several increments and putting them on 3 pins. We have a squad of 3 vets and a squad of 2 vets, danger close and a little pinned up over there. And he continues to fire successfully turn after turn with this light howitzer, just doing that supporting fire. Not getting many pins, it's not a very high explosive shot, but it's enough to do those casualties, put wounds on my veterans, and slowly chip away at the Brits. So all our units are damaged, battered and bruised, but we've not lost as many dice as the Japs going into the final turns of the game. So it's going into turn 5 now. It's getting really spicy. Let's see how this plays out. Dice of turn 5, amazingly, despite the Brits having a 4 dice lead in the bag, is the Japanese. So they're going for the bomb operative into this Bren carrier with the Piat inside. Could easily be a double kill here. JP, don't get a 1 here.
Famous last words.
Pen 8. That's a 3, that adds up to an 11 versus 7. It's a double pen. Banzai. And it is knocked out. So D6 hits on the Piat team. It's only 2, killing on 4s. Okay, nothing. Pins. I think it's just 1, but we'll just... Mega Bren carrier engulfed in flames. The Piat team flee away into the jungle. Next dice is also Japanese, and I think now is the time for a charge. JP's going for the run. Banzai straight into this 3-man veteran squad. It's going to be 3 men versus 8 here. JP has a tough fighter sergeant. I get 2 attacks on my tough fighter sergeant thanks to tough as boots as my national rule. So my tough fighter is going to be yellow, as is JP's. I'm on the left, Japanese on the right. So I've got, are you regulars?
Yeah, I got 1. With
3 kills. I've got 3 so far with 2 rerolls on tough fighter. So I've got 4 kills.
So I killed 1.
But you are fanatic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 killed to 1. So I've got 2 guys left. That means I lose my toughest boots buff. So I've got 1 tough fighter and 1 rifleman. You've got 4 attacks back, killing on 4s for me, 5s for you. I've got a double kill there.
None.
Okay, tough fighter, can we make it 3? Yes. Can potentially get your sergeant actually with 1.
Yeah.
I've had a few 6, so I'll roll 1. Oh, yes. Killed your tough fighter guy. How many you got left now?
1 now, so that's
1 guy.
fanatical falls off.
Yeah, I think so. Down to the last man. I've got 2. You get a kill. I don't.
Oh,
So it's 1-on-1. Oh yeah, I'm fanatic, so yeah, I think you drive them off, but you're down to your last guy. It's clear their pin and advance into point blank range of the second regular Japanese squad. Now he's deciding to go down, making it 5s to hit. 1, 2, I'll take that. And 2 kills. Can we get the officer? Oh, it's cocked. No. That NCO will have to do a runaway check on 4 pins now. No, he runs. Stuart's up next. He's going to hose these veterans down once again. Point blank range, but rule of the jungle is he is shooting into that jungle. He's got to avoid rolling a double 1. No, he's absolutely fine. You can see them plain and clear. 18 shots on 5. Not sure how many, we'll see. It's looking solid enough. And then needing 5s again. And kill 3 here. That's nice. It wouldn't matter anyway, but we do kill 3. And then see if we can get the NCO and the LMG. No. Japanese gun crew once again load a high explosive shell into the breach. They're going to launch it over the ridge line into the Chindits here. It's going to be soft cover. That's all here. Oh, misses. With the Japanese veterans forced down by the Stuart, the Gurkhas are finally going to draw those kukris and charge out of the jungle and into glorious close combat. Gurkha's Scary Blighters rule. Enjoying it whilst I've got it, because I feel like it's going to change 3rd edition. Takes him down to just 2 attacks, 1 tough fighter. What colour is that?
Red.
So red on the tough fighter. With that, you've got a katana on the NCO. And then I've got 6 tough fighter attacks on the Gurkhas, fighting at the same time in the jungle. Let's go. I've got you.
I've got me tough fighter.
Okay, I've got 2 kills so far.
No.
You got 1. I've got 2 tough fighter rerolls. And are you happy with that 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's all 3 dead.
Yeah.
The 2-man veteran squad, my 2 remaining Tommies, advance back up onto the rocky ridge. It's been a bloody fight for this ridge all game, but they're going to spray down into the remaining rifleman. He's just a regular and he's not even an NCO, but I'm sure we'll see how loyal he is to the Emperor. The SMG, they're purple, 5s on the rifle. We've got 2 hits, needing a 4 now. Let's finish this. Yes, we could shoot him down. A couple of dice in a row. The Gurkhas go down, fail an advance order, and then the Bren carrier advances up, staying close to the Gurkhas. He has to shoot through about 7 inches of jungle to see the officer. Sadly, just can't get accurate fire on him. To fight to the last. The remaining Japanese veterans advance further from the riverbank deep into the jungle now, into the maelstrom of burning vehicles towards the Gurkhas, and they're going to shoot not at the 3 that are carrying down back between the Bren carriers, but actually across and try and avenge the deaths of their comrades over here. Now they can see them. They got a double 6 to see through the jungle, so now it's going to be a barrage of fire, and I can't go dives. Good burst.
hits and then 4 and 6s.
Another hit, 5 in total. Okay, needing 5s here on the Gurkhas. Just 1 gets shot down. Chindits advance, repositioning to the other side of the bridge. The LMG gunner actually catches a glance, luckily, over at the Japanese lieutenant here, now that he moved and fired into the Gurkhas at point blank range, also lining up for a charge next turn. Glorious charge. So I'm going to get a chance to hit him on 6s from the LMG gunner with 4 dice. Ignoring the penalty to move and shoot. Let's see if I can do it once again. And he does get that 6. Are you... What are you? Inexperienced? Regular? Okay. Needing a 4 now. It's a 2. And with that, it is the end of turn 5. And a bloody turn it was. The Japanese have managed to get me down to just 7 Gurkhas left on this flank here, split between 2 squads. And they're facing off against like 9, 10 veterans here. Basically a fresh squad, unpinned and everything. And there's a few vulnerable targets like the Bren carrier. If I fail a couple of order checks, go down, something like that, I can easily pick up a couple more squads. We do have the Stuart over here, but if he can make it, it's a question of whether he can make his way through the jungle, see far enough through the jungle. Who knows? I definitely can't get the jump on them with this Stuart. I have to wait to get shot at least once for sure. Right, move and shoot, let him reveal himself a bit. Over on this flank, the Japanese still have their trusty artillery gun looking down at the scraps of this veteran squad here and the Chindits by the riverbank. The fresh Chindit squad basically unharmed, just continuing to provide fire support from the old bridge. So it's it's going to be an interesting turn 6. Brits certainly have the lead on kills, but it's going to be a heroic last stand into the fire and flames for the veterans and their lieutenant. First dice is British, and if it's a glorious end he wants, then we shall try and do our best to give that to him. We're going to give a run order to these Gurkhas, try and assassinate the Japanese officer. Check. Yes, we can. We need to see if we can see him now. He's only little, he's a small target, and there's 3 inches of jungle there, so that makes it a 9. No! Perhaps it's smoke blinding them from the burning Bren carrier, but either way, they stumble to just an inch away from that officer now. Next dice is also British. We're going to try and persuade these Gurkhas on 1 pin to dash into that Bren carrier. It's a 10! The trusty Japanese howitzer crew decide to start doing indirect drop shots. They can see direct, but he knows I'm just going to keep going down, so he may as well zero in and get a 5 next time if it goes to turn 6 here, JP.
Come on, baby.
Oh! It's a 5. The remaining Bren carrier advances to within an inch of my Gurkhas, keeping him safe, and also shooting into the officer at point blank range. However, I do need to roll an 8 to see if I can see him because of the law of the jungle. It's a 7, no. He's just hiding, hiding in the bushes. So advances into a better position and shoots across into the Gurkhas. On 4's here. Oh, no, nothing for the Japanese. And the veterans decide to advance into point blank range of the Gurkhas and put all this British steel between them and the Stuart, who still hasn't activated this turn. See if he can hose them down. I've already rolled to see if the Japanese infantry can shoot. He's got a couple of hits there.
Rifles and LMG on 4s.
This looks like a healthy burst. Okay, there's nothing I can do here.
3 5s, come on. None.
None! Oh my gosh, that's the law of the jungle, baby. To be fair to JP, just in case you're following on painting and you're not looking at the finer details of this battle, that would have been 2 kills for him because he would have killed the Gurkhas and been closest to the empty Bren carrier. So really unlucky that he got no 5s on like, what was it, like 8, 9 dice, something like that.
Through, yeah.
Stuart backs up 4 inches, moves forward just 1 inch, and then sprays across at that Japanese officer. This is my last dice, possibly the last dice of the game. Now, first things first, he's a small target, and he's 12 inches away. However, he has moved and fired, so that means I need a 6 on my Law of the Jungle check. Around dodging my fire all game. Let's see if we can pick him out from the bushes. It's a 6, yes. Okay, 18 dice coming in now, JP. 18 shots on 6s here. Okay, so it's 1 at least. A couple of cocked dice there. Just 1.
Okay, 50-50 chance for the officer.
50-50 for the officer. Needing a 4 up here. It's a 6! Yes, right between the eyes. And that's a nice kill. And with that, it is the end of turn 6. So as we can see here, the Brits, although we did go down with the Gurkhas, failed to charge with the other Gurkhas there as well. The armoured support did manage to clip off the officer, and the hardy Gurkhas survived some point-blank fire from the Japanese veterans, silhouetted by the burning hulk of the Bren carrier, probably glowing red hot by now. Over on this side of the board, I attempted to spray across with the Chindits on the bridge, just couldn't see through the jungle, sadly. And of course, going down with 1 squad of Chindits over here, and the last 2 veteran Tommies just hopping down out of line of sight of any eagle-eyed howitzer crew. So it's 2 dice left for the Japanese. We've got, I'm not sure exactly, I think I've got 9 left, have I?
9, I think, yeah.
You've battered most of my squads. My Piat team forced to flee through the jungle after being, forced out of their brain carrier last turn, a couple of turns ago. My forward artillery observer has been cowardly, hiding at the back of the board for a while now. And we'll see if the game continues into turn 7. Any more chances for glorious charges? Shall I roll big blue? Oh, I've got this dice now. And it's a 3, so that's GG, my friend. Okay, it's a simple game of kill points, and it's 3 kills to 6. Is it 7?
Convincing
8.
win for the Brits.
8 kills, yeah. So 8 kills to 3, yeah. That's good for the Brits. I mean, of course, you're basically a starter box plus a box of a metal, infantry, but powered box. So I had way more options. I've got my Brits, which is a vast collection. We had the Chindits, I really enjoyed the force. You can't take we don't use many theatre selectors.
No.
So it's just nice to change it. We're just trying different stuff, having fun.
Until third drop.
We'll just wait until 3rd drops. No point taking anything seriously, doing anything too competitive. So we thought we'd take the time to get the jungle sorted out, have a cool game, and I think the flavour of the Burma list means that, I could take all Gurkhas, so you can make it really powerful, but you miss
it's powerful.
And you get the Stewart, and you get brain carriers, so it's got all the...
And Chindits.
Yeah, and Chindits. It's got all the moving parts, all the bits you need. Free observer, yeah, when you put it like that, it's a pretty powerful list, it has to be said. 12 dice, and certainly a lot of fun. I enjoyed what do you think of the jungle? Fun rules. We played how you can. It's sort of suggested by Warlord that you play from like some ye olde thing we saw. So maybe there'll be new rules in 3rd edition for jungle fighting, all different types of terrain. Who knows? Who knows what's coming? But all in all, I'm glad we've got this board sort of ready, so we can have a few more matches when 3rd edition drops. Maybe Will will expand his Japs, because shout out to Will for kindly lending us his Japanese army, so we could do a cool battle report for you guys today. Any final thoughts, JP, on your tactics, how things panned out, so on and so forth?
No, it's the way bolt action is. There was some lucky dice, some unlucky for me. Losing the tank very early was...
From an artillery strike, yeah, that was pretty lucky.
Lost a lot of infantry to fire over here.
Yeah, there was one turn
regular
where
squads went from 12 men to 3 very quickly.
Yeah, it's the problem with regs. Every time you take them, seems yeah, okay, the big squads, they can actually pump out a lot of shots, especially with an LMG. It's actually fistfuls of dice, but they die just as easy.
Although they're in the jungle, the Japanese struggle to use the bonsai because a lot of it is rough terrain.
Yeah,
so
you were getting the auto move through the jungle, but you were, often only moving 6 inches. So it often made sense to advance and shoot, unless you were pinned up. So it was interesting, but it was very dense jungle. We wanted to make it super...
just as safer as possible.
It's a thick Burmese jungle. There's no, not really any settlement around here, and so that was the theme. It made it a bit more difficult, but it was cool. I think
there were some good moments.
Some good moments there. A lot of the time, maybe you guys didn't necessarily see it. We'll have to see in the edit, but I'd definitely recommend trying these rules out, even if you've not got like jungle terrain, thick like woodland forest in Central Europe or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
because the knife fighting rules for like dense woodlands just across the whole board, it's like really cool. Can you see? You declare a target, and then you realise, it's an officer who hasn't moved or shot. He's like 6 inches into that bit of woodland. I just like can't actually see him at all.
I mean, we've seen it a lot the last time with your Gurkhas coming through, not being able to see, even though they were 2 inches away.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely put some interesting twists on things. And definitely felt like we were fighting in dense jungle from our side of things. So let us know if you enjoyed the battle report. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Of course, it really helps the channel out. And if you enjoy hanging out with us every Sunday, watching our weekly battle reports for Bolt Action, and you want to support us as we prepare for,
third edition.
Yeah, third edition. It's going to be epic. We've got some big ideas. And, a little contribution, it's less than half a pint of beer.
I want a new army, so any suggestions would be welcome.
And just that little few pennies helps us buy the trees, buy the paints. We build all our terrain ourselves, so really goes a long way. And shout out to our current members for all the support. Their contributions basically let us build this jungle terrain, so, couldn't have done it without them, quite literally. So with all that being said, we hope you found this video interesting and entertaining. This has been the Scholar Progenium. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.